What if I told you that the kindest man in Hollywood lost everything in just 18 months? What if the pain that broke him is what made him the person we love today? This is the story of Keanu Reeves and the tragedy that changed everything. It's 1998. Keanu Reeves is on top of the world. He's famous. He's rich. Movies like Speed and The Matrix are making him one of the biggest stars on the planet. But something is different about Keanu. He's not like other Hollywood actors. He doesn't go to fancy parties. He doesn't show off his money. He rides the subway. He eats alone at small restaurants. People think he's weird. But Keanu doesn't care what people think. Because he has something more important than fame. He has love. Her name is Jennifer Syme. Jennifer is beautiful, smart, and kind. She works in the music industry. She loves art and music. She's not interested in Hollywood fame. She's real. She's genuine. And Keanu falls deeply in love with her. Friends say they've never seen Keanu so happy. He smiles more. He laughs more. For the first time in years, he looks truly alive. They're building a life together, making plans, dreaming about the future. And then, in 1999, they get the best news possible. Jennifer is pregnant. Keanu is going to be a father. He's so excited he can barely contain it. He tells his close friends. He starts preparing. He reads books about being a dad. He looks at baby clothes. He imagines teaching his daughter to ride a bike, reading her bedtime stories, being there for every moment. They decide to name her Ava. Ava Archer Syme-Reeves. Keanu says it over and over, getting used to the sound. My daughter, Ava. It feels like a dream come true. He's always been a private person. He's had a hard childhood. His father left when he was young. He moved around a lot. He never really had a stable family. But now he's going to create one. He's going to be the father he never had. He's going to give Ava everything. Not money or fame, but love, time, and presence. The months pass. Jennifer's belly grows. They go to doctor appointments together. Keanu holds her hand during ultrasounds. They see their baby girl moving on the screen. Everything is perfect. Until December 24th, 1999. Christmas Eve. Jennifer goes into labor. But something is wrong. The doctors look worried. They're moving fast. There are urgent whispers. Medical terms Keanu doesn't understand. He holds Jennifer's hand. It's going to be okay, he tells her. But his voice is shaking. Hours pass. Long, terrible hours. And then silence. The kind of silence that changes everything. Ava is born on December 24th, 1999. But she's not breathing. She's stillborn. Their baby girl is gone before she ever got to live. Keanu holds his daughter for the first and last time. She's perfect. Tiny fingers. Tiny toes. She looks like she's sleeping. But she's not. He wants to scream. He wants to break things. He wants to wake up from this nightmare. But it's not a nightmare. It's real. Jennifer is devastated. Completely broken. The doctors are worried about her. She's not just physically hurt. She's emotionally destroyed. Keanu tries to be strong for her. He holds her as she cries. He cries with her. They bury their daughter together. On what should have been the happiest Christmas of their lives, they're attending their baby's funeral. People who see Keanu during this time say he looks like a ghost. Like part of him died with Ava. But the worst part? This is only the beginning of his tragedy. After losing Ava, Keanu and Jennifer try to hold on to each other. They go to grief counseling. They cry together. They remember their daughter together. But grief is a terrible weight to carry. And sometimes it's too heavy for love to survive. The pain changes them. Jennifer falls into deep depression. Keanu tries to help, but he's drowning too. They're both broken, and neither knows how to fix the other. Slowly, their relationship falls apart. It's nobody's fault. They still love each other. But sometimes love isn't enough to heal certain wounds. They separate. Not with anger or fighting. Just with sadness. A quiet, terrible sadness that never goes away. Keanu throws himself into work. He films the Matrix sequels. He does stunts that are too dangerous. He works 16-hour days. Anything to not think about what he lost. Jennifer tries to rebuild her life too. She goes to therapy. She tries to find meaning again. She leans on friends. And for a while, it seems like maybe, just maybe, they'll both heal. Then comes April 1st, 2001. 18 months after losing Ava. Jennifer is at a party at Marilyn Manson's house. She's with friends. She seems okay. Not happy, but okay. She leaves the party late at night. She's driving home alone in her Jeep Cherokee. What happens next will haunt Keanu forever. At 6:20 in the morning, Jennifer's Jeep crashes into a row of parked cars on Cahuenga Boulevard in Los Angeles. She's not wearing a seatbelt. She's thrown from the vehicle. She dies instantly. She's only 28 years old. The police investigation shows she wasn't drunk. She wasn't on drugs. It was just a tragic accident. A moment of lost control. A split second that ended everything. But for Keanu, it doesn't matter why it happened. All that matters is that she's gone. The woman he loved. The mother of his child. The person who understood his pain better than anyone. Gone. In 18 months, Keanu Reeves lost his daughter and the love of his life. Two people who were supposed to be his family. His future. His reason to come home. Both gone. Friends say they didn't know if Keanu would survive this. Not physically, but mentally. Emotionally. How does anyone come back from that much loss? How do you keep going when everyone you planned a future with is suddenly dead? Keanu disappears from public life. He cancels interviews. He hides from cameras. When photographers catch him, he looks empty. Like there's nothing left inside him. People start to worry. Really worry. Will Keanu Reeves become another Hollywood tragedy? Another talented person destroyed by pain? But then something unexpected happens. Something that shows who Keanu really is. Instead of letting the grief destroy him, Keanu makes a choice. He chooses to honor Jennifer and Ava by living differently. He doesn't become bitter. He doesn't become angry at the world. He doesn't shut people out completely. Instead, he becomes kinder. He starts giving away millions of dollars to charity. He creates a private cancer foundation in his sister's name. His sister had been battling leukemia. He gives huge portions of his Matrix earnings to the special effects and costume design teams because they're the real heroes of the film. He starts taking time for fans. Every single one. No matter how tired he is. No matter how busy he is. He sits with homeless people and shares his lunch. He gives up his seat on the subway to strangers. He pays for people's groceries when he overhears them struggling at the checkout. People start calling him the nicest guy in Hollywood. But Keanu doesn't do these things for fame or recognition. He does them because he knows how precious life is. How quickly it can all disappear. He does them because he knows what it's like to lose everything. And he never wants anyone else to feel as alone as he did. This is where Keanu's story takes a turn. From the depths of unimaginable pain, he becomes a beacon of hope. From loss, he finds purpose. But how does he really deal with the pain? How does he wake up every day knowing his daughter and the woman he loved are gone? And what does he mean when he says, "The ones who love us never really leave us"? In Part 2, we'll discover how Keanu Reeves turned the saddest story in Hollywood into the most inspiring comeback you've ever heard. We'll learn his daily habits that keep him going, the philosophy that saved his life, and why he believes that even in death, love never truly ends. Let's be honest about something. Keanu didn't just wake up one day and feel better. That's not how grief works. After Jennifer died in 2001, Keanu spent years in darkness. Real, heavy darkness. He would go days without talking to anyone. He'd ride his motorcycle alone for hours, going nowhere in particular. Just writing. Just trying to escape his own thoughts. Friends would call. He wouldn't answer. Directors would offer him roles. He'd turn them down. He'd sit in his house, looking at photos of Jennifer. Thinking about Ava. Wondering what life would have been like if they had lived. What kind of father would I have been, he'd think. What would Ava look like now? Would she have Jennifer's eyes? My smile. These thoughts would torture him. Day after day. Night after night. He stopped eating properly. Lost weight. Looked sick. People in Hollywood whispered. Keanu's not going to make it, they'd say. He's too broken. But they didn't understand something important about Keanu Reeves. He's not just an actor. He's a survivor. You see, this wasn't the first tragedy Keanu had faced in his life. When Keanu was just 3 years old, his father abandoned the family. Just left one day and never came back. His mother struggled to raise him and his sisters alone. They moved constantly. Hawaii, Australia, New York, Toronto, never staying anywhere long enough to feel like home. When he was a teenager, his best friend River Phoenix died of a drug overdose. Right outside a nightclub. Keanu was devastated. His sister Kim battled leukemia for 10 years. 10 years of hospitals, treatments, fear. Keanu paid for everything and spent countless nights by her bedside. So by the time Ava and Jennifer were taken from him, Keanu already knew what loss felt like. But this was different. This wasn't just loss. This was the future being stolen. This was hope dying. Most people would become hard after so much pain. Build walls. Stop caring. Stop trying. But Keanu did the opposite. And it started with a simple realization one morning. It's 2003, 2 years after Jennifer's death. Keanu is sitting alone in his kitchen. It's early morning. The sun is just coming up. He hasn't slept. Again, he's drinking coffee and staring at nothing, like he's done 1,000 times before. But this morning, something changes. He looks around his empty house, at all his expensive things, his awards, his success, and he realizes none of it matters. None of it brings back Ava. None of it brings back Jennifer. All the money in the world can't buy another day with the people you love. So what's the point? That's when the idea hits him. If he can't change the past, if he can't bring them back, then what can he do? He can live differently. He can make sure their deaths weren't meaningless. He can honor them by being the kind of person they would be proud of. Ava never got to live. So Keanu decides he'll live enough for both of them. Jennifer loved kindness and art and helping others. So Keanu decides he'll carry that forward. From that morning on, everything changes. Keanu starts small. He begins talking to people again. Really talking. Really listening. When a fan approaches him on the street, instead of rushing past, he stops. He looks them in the eye. He asks them about their day. He signs autographs. Takes photos. Makes them feel seen. Why? Because he knows what it's like to feel invisible in your pain. He starts giving away his money. Not for tax breaks or publicity. Secretly. Quietly. He sets up a cancer foundation but doesn't put his name on it. He just wants to help people who are fighting the same battle his sister fought. He gives $70 million from the Matrix sequels to the special effects and costume teams. When asked why, he says simply, "They're the reason the movie is great. They deserve it." He buys motorcycles for the entire stunt team on another film. Just because. He takes pay cuts so that other actors can be in his movies. He wants to work with good people more than he wants money. On his birthday, instead of throwing a party, he buys cakes and hands them out to homeless people. One time, his flight makes an emergency landing. Everyone's stuck. Frustrated. Angry. And what does Keanu do? He gets on a bus with all the passengers, plays music on his phone, reads them facts about their destination, and makes the whole terrible situation feel like an adventure. Another time, he's on the subway. An old woman gets on with heavy bags. Without hesitation, Keanu stands up, gives her his seat, and holds her bags for her for the entire ride. These stories spread. People start sharing them online. Videos of Keanu being kind go viral. The Keanu effect becomes a thing. But Keanu doesn't do any of this for recognition. He does it because when you've lost everything, you understand that kindness is all that really matters. That human connection is all we really have. That every moment with another person is precious because it could be the last. In interviews, when Keanu is asked about death, his answers are different from most celebrities. He doesn't avoid the topic. He doesn't get uncomfortable. Instead, he speaks about it with wisdom, with peace. "What do you think happens when we die?" an interviewer once asked him. Keanu paused, thought carefully, then said, "I know that the ones who love us will miss us." Simple. Honest. True. Another time, he said something that reveals how he's coped with his losses. The simple act of paying attention can take you a long way. Think about that. Paying attention. Being present. Really seeing people. That's how Keanu honors Ava and Jennifer. By being fully present with everyone he meets. By not taking a single moment for granted. He once said in an interview, "Grief changes shape, but it never ends." People have a misconception that you can deal with it and say, "It's gone and I'm better." They're wrong. When the people you love are gone, you're alone. You're on your own. But here's the beautiful part. Even though Keanu knows he's alone with his grief, he chooses not to make others feel alone in theirs. When he meets fans who tell him about their losses, he doesn't just say, "I'm sorry," and move on. He stops. He listens. Sometimes for 20 minutes. Sometimes longer. He shares his own pain. He tells them it's okay to not be okay. He gives them something nobody gave him. The feeling that their pain matters. Now let's talk about that quote. "The ones who love us never really leave us." Keanu has never directly said these exact words in public, but the sentiment runs through everything he does and says. He believes that Jennifer and Ava are still with him. Not physically, but in other ways. In the kindness he shows strangers, that's Jennifer's spirit. In the wonder he finds in simple things. That's Ava, seeing the world for the first time through his eyes. In the way he refuses to become bitter despite everything. That's them, reminding him that love is stronger than loss. People who've lost loved ones understand this. The dead don't really leave. They live in our habits, our values, the way we treat others. Jennifer taught Keanu about genuine connection. So every time he connects with someone, she's there. Ava never got to experience life. So every time Keanu is fully present, fully alive, she's there. This is how we keep our loved ones alive. Not by mourning them forever, but by living in a way that honors them. By becoming better because they existed. So what can we learn from Keanu's story? First, you don't have to let pain make you hard. Keanu had every reason to become angry, bitter, and cruel. Instead, he became kinder. That's a choice. A daily choice. Second, success means nothing without people to share it with. Keanu learned this the hard way. He has all the fame and money anyone could want. But what he wants most, his daughter, his love, money can't buy. So he shares everything. Because what's the point of having it all if you're alone? Third, every person you meet is fighting a battle you know nothing about. This is why Keanu is kind to everyone. The fan asking for a photo might be having the worst day of their life. That small interaction might be the only good thing that happens to them. He knows this because he's been that person, dying inside while the world moves on around him. Fourth, grief doesn't have a timeline. It's been over 20 years since Ava died. Over 20 years since Jennifer died. And Keanu still carries that pain. But he's learned to carry it with grace. To let it make him compassionate instead of bitter. Fifth, the best way to honor those we've lost is to live fully. Not to forget them. Not to move on. But to live in a way that would make them proud. Ava never got to laugh, play, or love. So Keanu does those things with extra intention. Jennifer valued authentic human connection. So Keanu makes every interaction authentic. This is how we keep them alive. Today, Keanu Reeves is 60 years old. He's found love again with artist Alexandra Grant. They're happy together. Peaceful. Some people criticized him for moving on. But those people don't understand grief. Loving again doesn't mean you've forgotten. It means you're brave enough to be vulnerable again after having your heart destroyed. Keanu still thinks about Ava and Jennifer every day. He's said as much in interviews. But he doesn't let that pain stop him from living. He still rides the subway. Still eats alone at diners. Still talks to every fan who approaches him. Last year, a fan caught him on camera sitting alone on a bench, eating a cupcake and just watching people walk by. The internet fell in love with it. Sad Keanu, they called the meme. But maybe he wasn't sad. Maybe he was just present. Just being. Just appreciating a simple moment of existence. Because when you've lost what Keanu's lost, you learn to find beauty in the small things. A cupcake. A sunny day. A stranger's smile. These things matter because they're real. They're here. They're now. Keanu Reeves will be remembered for many things. Neo from The Matrix. John Wick. Speed. Point Break. But his real legacy isn't on screen. It's in the way he treats people. It's in the cancer patients whose treatments he's funded anonymously. It's in the homeless person who got a meal and a conversation when they felt invisible. It's in the fan who was having a terrible day until Keanu took 5 minutes to talk to them. It's in the costume designer who could pay their mortgage because Keanu shared his earnings. This is the legacy of a man who lost everything and chose to give everything. Who turned the saddest story in Hollywood into the most inspiring lesson about being human. If you're watching this and you've lost someone, I want you to know something. Keanu's story isn't about getting over it. It's not about everything happens for a reason. Those are empty phrases that don't help anyone. It's about this. You can carry the pain and still live a beautiful life. You can honor those you've lost by living in a way that would make them proud. You can be broken and still be kind. You can have every reason to be bitter and still choose love. This is what Keanu teaches us. Not through words, but through actions. Every single day. When you see Keanu Reeves in a movie, remember, you're watching a man who's been to hell and back. A man who held his stillborn daughter and buried the woman he loved. A man who could have let that destroy him. But instead, he let it teach him. He let it make him more human. More present. More alive. And maybe, just maybe, that's what Jennifer and Ava would have wanted. For him to live. Really live. Not despite the pain. But because of it. Because he knows better than most how precious and fragile life is. So he doesn't waste a single moment. And neither should we. The ones who love us never really leave us. They live in our kindness, in our strength, in our choice to keep going when giving up would be easier. Jennifer and Ava didn't get to live long, but through Keanu, they're still changing the world. One act of kindness at a time. That's not the saddest story in Hollywood. That's the most beautiful.